got a good friend named Bill Walton, who you guys know pretty well.
Yeah, we know him.
First coaching job I took, Bill said, Byron, they hire coaches to fire coaches, just to let you know. Yeah. Okay, Bill. All right, appreciate it. So the Laker job, am I talking about when they hire me?
Well, let's start then when you had the initial conversation.
So initial conversation with Mitch Kupchak. Guys, I went in, I think, 3 times to talk to Mitch and to Jim Buss as well. And I was in the Bahamas when they called me and offered me the job. But when I took the job, when I told them I would agree to the terms and everything, when I came back, we had another meeting. And this is the meeting where Mitch says, are you okay? This is going to take a while. Are you okay with the rebuilding? I said, yeah, I'm okay with it. Are you okay with it?
Yeah.
I said, because, I'm going to take the hit. I'm going to take all these losses because I know at the end of the day, what we're trying to get to and trying to build, is going to take time. So are you okay with it? No, yeah. Me and Jim, we know this is going to take 3, 4, 5 years to build. So yeah, we okay. We all on the same page. Okay, sounds good to me. Played the 2 seasons, and everything's going okay. We're not winning games like we expected, but we are trying to develop some of these young guys that we had. And then at the end of the season, that second season, I hear him talk to the papers and everything. And he said, listen, under the circumstances, I thought, Coach Scott did a really good job. Forward, next week. So I'm at home right now. I'm just chilling, looking at TV. I get a call at 8 o'clock, and it's from Mitch.
At night?
At night.
Uh-huh.
And he says, hey, Coach, how you doing? I said, I'm good, Mitch. What's going on? He said, you busy? Can you come by the office for a little while?
At night?
At night.
Okay.
So,
and
know
the
me.
Season's over.
And, season's been over a couple of weeks now.
All right.
So, I'm like, no. Just like I did. I said, nah, we didn't have to talk.
Right.
We know this is going to take time. So
yes.
No, that can't be it. So, yeah, let me go see what he want to talk about. Get in my car, drive over to the office. Get in his office, and he wants a small talk for a couple of minutes. Everything good. Coach, we're not gonna retain you. We're gonna move in a different direction. And I said, what? We're gonna move in a different direction. We haven't decided who we're gonna hire, which was a lie.
Right. I
already knew then, because Luke's name was already being mentioned. So I already knew that was a lie. And I sit there and I looked at him, Fred, and I swear if looks could kill, he would have dropped dead right there. And if that would have been 15 years early, the way I was then,
the whole Byron would have came out.
Oh, I'd have did a Michael Thompson on him too. Oh man! But I said, you know what, B, just get out of here. So I stood up and I said, all right, okay, Mitch. And he reached to shake my hand. I shook his hand. I said, all right. I said, I'll come back another day and clean up my office. So I'll leave. I go home. I'm sitting at home. My fiance, Cecilia, comes in. She walks upstairs. She sees me, and she just walked right back downstairs. She was like, no, I could see something's wrong. Right?
She knew. Yeah.
And it took me about 15 minutes. I said, all right, I'm good. Door closed, the window's going to open. Everything's cool. I went back downstairs. Me and her were good. So about 2 days later, I said, let me go to the office and clean out my stuff or start cleaning stuff out. I didn't know they were having a meeting or anything there. So I go in the office, and everything's good. I'm packing up stuff. I got my boxes going, and I'm taking stuff to the, in this little dolly. I'm taking it to the car. I come back, and I come back in the office this last time, and Ryan West comes in for a second. I forgot to tell you, and he just said, Coach, you good? I said, yeah, I'm good, Ryan. You all right? Everything good with you? Yeah, we about to have a meeting. I was like, oh, okay. So he leaves. Within 5 minutes, Mitch walks in. And I'm still, I don't stop. I keep putting stuff in my boxes. He said, how you doing? I wish people could see my face on radio right now. I said, what? He said, how you doing? You okay? I said, yeah, I'm good. He said, did you, what you expect and, anything different? I said, man, I expected another year at least.
Yeah.
He looks at me, he says, that's fair. I said, what? That's fair.
That's all he said?
Yeah. Yeah. So I just stopped. I just stopped, and I just, stopped talking. I just turned around and started cleaning up more. And at this time, I'm not even talking, So he finally just says, all right, well, what would you think about coming in a different, a different position, working with the organizations? Can I give you a call? I said, sure, Mitch. So he walks out the room. I finish up, go home, tell my my girl what happened and everything. She's shaking her head. A couple of weeks later, now I don't hear from him.
Right.
I don't get a call at all. I don't hear about another position with the organization, nothing. Don't hear nothing. So now Magic goes on board, right?
Mm-hmm.
They fire Mitch. Oh, I get a call in.
Right.
And I didn't recognize the number. I had deleted that number. I didn't need that number anymore, right? So I get a call and then a message, this long message, but no name on it. Can we get together, have lunch or something? And I'm like, who is this? So I text back, who is this? And I get Mitch. And I said, what do we need to talk about? Well, I think there's a lot of, things that we need to, we've been friends and teammates for so long. I just think it's some things we need to kind of discuss. I said, I don't think so. I said, I'll tell you what, when I think there's some things we need to discuss, I'll call you. Click.
Wow.
That's it. Now, a couple of weeks go by, I'm playing golf at Bel Air Country Club. And Rodney, he didn't hear all this, so I'm playing golf at Bel Air Country Club with two really good friends of mine, Brad and Val. And Brad's a member at Bel Air, and Brad's a character. Brad's one of those guys that we would have loved back in the day because he always started a lot of, what.
Yeah.
So we're playing, and we on the first hole. And when I got there, somebody told me Mitch was there. I said, okay. So we on the first hole. So I'm on the green on the first hole. And I'm not looking around. I'm trying to eye a putt, And Brad said, oh, hey, how you doing, Mitch?
He said, all loud. He loud talking.
Oh, loud as hell, And I looked up, and there's Mitch. He's starting to walk down, to the green. And he had his son with him, and I said hello to the son and everything. He comes down. He says, hey, how you doing? I said, I'm good. He said, you going to be around for a while? And Rodney, I looked around like this. It's the first hole, man. I was going to be here for 4 hours. We'll be here for 4 hours, dog.
Yeah.
He said, oh, okay, well, maybe afterwards we can talk. I said, all right. So I play, I didn't forget. And my boy Brad was dying.
I bet
he was like, man, that looked so uncomfortable. It didn't even look right. He didn't even want to walk over here. I said, man, I ain't got nothing. I ain't got nothing against him. I said, but I ain't got nothing to say to him.
Right.
So we play our round. Had a great time. We went in afterwards, had drinks, and I done forgot all about it. Of course, Brad, had a couple of drinks and eating. Brad said, hey, B.
He wanted to show.
Yeah, B. He said, hey, B, where's Mitch? Didn't he say he was going to meet you here afterwards? I said, Brad, cut it out, man. Cut it out. So that was the 4, hiring and firings of the Byron Scott saga in my NBA coaching career. And that one took the cake because I really, truly felt that was a straight, you just straight lied to me.
Yeah.
You used me basically for 2 years because of my relationship with Kobe. That's really how I felt about it. Mm-hmm. And so at the end of the day, I'm like, look, it's all good. But it was.
So he never came back to Bel Air, to the country club, and you guys never talked about that?
No.
Or he never did that?
No.
Wow. But that is so bad, and it's one of those things that does happen, and all you ask as a coach, a player, whatever, all you ask is somebody be straight up.
Be straight up. Just be honest with me. Because I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel. I'm going to tell you at least my truth, what I'm going to try to do on certain things. But I'm not going to sit here and look you in the face and bold-faced lie to you. Right. You know what I mean? That's just not me. So I think even, months after that when people talked to me about, other NBA jobs, I said, I got a bad taste in my mouth because of that last one. And that's where I was for 3 years. Yeah. You know what I mean? And
did it bother? I mean, obviously it didn't matter where it was, but did it bother you even more because it was the Lakers?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. Because you look at
and you knew Mitch and you played with him.
And you think of this as family.
Yeah.
I still do. I still go to games. I still see Gina and give her a big hug, and especially when Magic got involved. Right. But yeah, I mean that's even more of a hurt because, like you said, you think of this as more of a family. This is an organization that you gave your blood, sweat, and tears for 11 years that I played here. Yeah. So you could never say nothing bad about the purple and gold to me. Never. So yeah, it even hurt more because it was purple and gold.
Right. When you were coaching, I mean, and to be very honest, because we have talked. You know, I knew some of the stuff that was going on with DAngelo Russell.
Right.
And I could never, because I know what you went through with him, I personally couldn't get over it for you because of how you had to deal with him. And he was a kid that came in here, and emotionally, he wasn't a man. He wasn't an NBA player.
Right. He wasn't ready. And I don't think a lot of people understand, and Rodney knows this. You know, the mental part of professional sports is so if you're not mentally ready, let alone physically. You know, physically he was okay. Obviously, he had the physical tools. But from a mental standpoint of understanding what it takes every single day to get prepared for a game and how to prepare for a game and be ready for a game, he didn't have a clue. You know, he really didn't. And so the things that I was trying to do is, you know, show him tough love, but also show him discipline and how to do this and be successful at it for a long time. And a lot of people took it the wrong way, which I didn't care, you know, because I knew behind closed doors the things that I was dealing with, you know, with a young, immature young player. Yeah. And I knew once he left, I said, watch, he'll start getting it. He'll start understanding what this league is about. And, you know, kudos to him for going to New Jersey or Brooklyn and playing the way he played. Now he's in Golden State. He got the big contract and all that good stuff, and I'm happy for him. I want all these guys to get paid, obviously, and make enough money to take care of themselves, their families, and hopefully generations to come. You know, but you have to sometimes lay down the law with players to make them understand that they're going to go through some things before they get to that next level.
Yeah, and you know that. I mean, Byron, you said it. It's something about, we say it in all sports, is just being a pro.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
You have to learn how to be a pro and be a professional athlete, and a lot of guys don't get it, and sometimes they never get it.
Right.
But you're absolutely right. You can have all the physical tools that you may have, but if you don't get it mentally and you don't understand what it takes day in and day out, it's not going to work. But for you coming, you know, playing when you did, and then having to deal with from a player standpoint, right?
Oh yeah.
From a player standpoint, and then trying to get things across to some of the young cats that feel entitled the way kids are nowadays, right? Coming from where you and you know, dealing with Coach Riley back in the day, was hard nosed, you know, and then seeing what's happening with the young kids and trying to get through to them and through to them, not just from an outside looking in, that you've been there and done that. How frustrating is that?
That was real tough, Rodney, because like you said, being that I had been there and won championships, and being in a situation where at that given time when a coach said we want you to do this, it was like okay, it wasn't I got to do that. You know, and my response to all those guys, they wouldn't say it. They would just give me a look. I was like, first of all, you got to do it because I said so. Second of all, because I won championships. I've been there. I've done this. I'm trying to show you what it takes to get there. You know, so that was kind of my comeback. I had that respect of being a guy who played in the league and won championships, who had been successful. So a lot of them couldn't. I mean, they could look at me and then they'd be like, okay, well, yeah, he did win. He was on the team that won championships, so I guess we got to do this. You know, but it was difficult because, like you said, it was so many guys that would come here and it's like they got their hands out like, what you going to do for me? And I always turned around and said, no, you got it wrong, son. You got to prove it to me. I ain't got to prove nothing to you. You know, and that was my mentality is, you know, you a first round draft pick, you the second, third player pick. That's great. You know, that's just the beginning because now the biggest hurdle is staying here for 10, 12, 14 years in this league. That's your biggest challenge. Getting drafted is easy.
Right.
Yeah, that's easy.
Right. What was it like in the final days of Kobe as you were there with him and he played those last years? What was that like?
You know what? For me, Fred, it was great. You know, I was with Kobe his rookie year when he was 17 years old. I saw this in him, watching him, you know, every day in practice and watching his work ethic, you know, so spending those last 2 years with him was great for me. You know, I think we rekindled that relationship that we had so many years ago. I think the respect grew deeper. You know, all the problems that people were telling me that you're going to have with Kobe, I never had a single problem with KB. I don't need you to practice today. I don't need you to do this. You know, this is what I want to do as far as your minutes. Everything was all right. All right, coach. You know, whatever you want to do. I mean, he was so great the last 2 years. And I think from his standpoint, he had got to the point where he knew that he had done about as much as he can do in this league. And he was satisfied with it. Yeah, I don't know if he'll ever be totally satisfied, but I think I think he was at the point where he was like, you know what, I've given it everything I could. And when you do that as a player, you know, that's all you can do, and that's all you can give. You know, the only thing he was, you know, trying to do with some of these young guys is help them.
But they didn't get it.
That's what I was going to say. Do you see the frustration in him? Because he was kind of like you were saying, he was that guy that, hey, let's go practice. Let's get it in. Let's get the work in. Let's do it. It'll show up on the court. But when he had to deal with some of the other guys that didn't have that same kind of drive or mentality, it was probably frustrating for both of you guys.
Yeah, it was frustrating. I mean, he told me, he was like, Coach, they don't get it. You know, they don't get it. It was Jordan Clarkson was the one guy that was a mainstay that would come out and almost shoot with Kobe every single day. Kobe would go out, you know, an hour and a half before practice and say, I got to make 500 shots. Mm-hmm. And Jordan would be the one guy that would join him, you know, but everybody else, it was, you know, DAngelo, I had to put in a rule because we had practice at 11 o'clock. He walked on the floor at 10:55, shirt out. I said, look, man, you not a 10-year pro. You still got to learn how to, you know, get better at your craft, which means you should be out here 30 minutes, an hour before practice working on your craft. So I said, I'll tell you what, everybody in this room right now, which we had a lot of them, I said, if you got 3 years or less in this league, get your butt in this gym at 10:30 and be on the floor ready to work out with some of our coaches. I had to put in a rule to do that, which, you know, back in the Lakers days, Magic was on the court. I was on the court. Coop was on the court. The only one that really wasn't there was Cap.
Right.
But Cap had already played 15 years.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Everybody else was there before practice even started. We had a lather up already before we even started practice. And these guys today, at least, you know, 3 or 4 years ago when I was coaching, it was like it was like pulling teeth to get them out there on the court.
All right, we've got to talk about what's next for you. And we also have to talk about this upcoming HBO series concerning the Lakers.